good evening, everyone. It is Shooter Scott Henderson. Of course, we are going to go over primary waves and the growth stocks for July. Of course, at the end of our presentation, please do review our disclosures. Now, for those of you who are new, let me just quickly where you find our articles or my articles. Typically, they're posted under recent investment ideas. They will be on this first leg down the downside of the page. So when your page opens, basically just go down 3 pages and there we are. So we're going to go over growth stocks for July. And let me just double check and make sure I move to the right screen and I'm sharing the right screen. All right, so the July is a challenging month and it typically is slow. However, at this point, we've done pretty well, better than I would have thought going into the end of June, because I was thinking there for a while we'd turn over a little bit. Now, we got non-farm payroll on Friday. A little off on the numbers. The main thing that caught my attention was the private payroll came in at 136K versus 160 and 193K previously. Now, historically, at some point, that starts to weigh on the markets. That might be the case here. All right, so let's jump into growth stock. Amentus. It's a little bit of a mess. You got sort of a double bottom here. I don't like the fact that we've pushed back towards the double bottom because the count actually suggests that it's bearish. And this is the bullish outcome. We closed below 275, and that opens a back test of these lows here. So you want to be very conscious of that. Plus, we're squeezing on the Bollinger Bands. Doesn't look done to me to the downside. So, we also had a lot of short interests. I noted that this last week. So I think we got a little time. We don't have earnings earnings season doesn't start again until the end of July. I think it's the 23rd, 24th. I haven't even looked at that. I know it is the end of July. But, I think we want to wait, maybe sell some 250 cash secured puts if you don't have something on or don't have a position in there. And I'm speaking of newbies. Otherwise, I think I would wait towards when we have an earnings date. And then I would buy slightly in the money calls, like 250 calls, or common shares. Common shares are probably less risk because I really don't have, Kirk has a better handle on the micro macro here. So I think he might have a better idea of the events that might be coming up. And I'm sure he'll make us aware of that. But from a technical standpoint, I have to view things completely different in my look to get a visual here. But we really need to get back above this $5 again, for us to continue to move to the upside. I think it has more of a bias, maybe a little bit lower still. I don't really want to say that, but that's what it looks like. All right, so let's jump over to New York Community Bank. This actually has a nice look. Great 50% back candidate to $7. So our primary wave, we came in at 170. We've put in a higher low. I don't know, that's always a tongue twister. I have to think twice about that. And our target wave 1 is up around 673. So, definitely have some upside. All right, let's look at AST Space Gold. Nice push here. The question is it done? There's like 7 or 8 different potential outcomes as far as the count on this one. So that makes it a little bit challenging. First off, big point, January 21, we have a confirmed high at 25.37. So first question is, with my thesis or my theory on how I trade or method that I use to trade or my system or my strategy, we're always looking for at least one more divergent high above that 25.37. It hasn't manifested yet. There's no reason why we shouldn't get it. We really have a confirmed low here, right? And then we have, a number of divergent lows that have put in, and then we got this nice little breakout. We've got that push up to an intermediate wave, that's a minor wave 3. And then we have our B here. So we're looking at this as an ABC. So this is A, B, C. And we got another A, B, C, right? And so we're looking at this whole leg as this being A right here, and this being B and C. This could be an impulse, even though it's broken down as all we have to do is get one more leg lower and it becomes an impulse leg down. So if we close above this breakout line, that's sort of invalid, or I should say that it is invalid. So I think that breakout line is a big factor. If we reject higher prices there and continue lower, we're going lower. So I'm not going to hold if I were you. You get below $10, I would not be holding here. Or I would flip off to some kind of calls to limit it. In other words, you have common shares, sell the common shares and buy 3 to 6 month calls, $2 higher than where we are. It's your risk. You capture risk. So let's say, for example, you had 3x on this, you got in at the $1.70 or whatever, $2, whatever it was, so 250, and you held it to this 12. So you have a 4x. I wouldn't risk more than 25% of my gain with that thought. I think vulture pricing anything at 630 is good back at 50% fib on the first leg up, because I think this is an impulse leg up. I think this becomes an impulse leg up, is my thought. I think it does morph into something else. Only because I'm looking at the micro and macro, which I try not to do when I'm doing technical reviews. But the fact is we have billions of people on this planet that don't have self-service, and AST Space Global provides a solution to that. And historically, those have been some of the largest trends in our history. So that interests me, just like mRNA, DNA. It's a huge potential upside trend. Not only that, we tend to be a society that likes to spend a lot of time fixing cells. How many people buy Botox in America? Millions. Okay, just to look younger. So if we can do a DNA edit and all of a sudden take 40 years off of our life and feel like we're 25 again, who's going to do it? Well, I'm going to do it. But I want some other guinea pigs to go first. All right, so looking at Square. Square has been very challenging in this flat. I still have a count of 57. I've had this for like 3 months before we head to the upside. However, we are definitely forming a basing pattern or bottoming pattern. And, right now, this is a primary wave too. Sorry, I don't have it marked on the chart. But we should get another primary wave set up at this 57. And then we should head up from at that point, I would think, once that gets pushed. So I'd rather see a euphoric flush here, right down there, maybe even overshoot it a little bit. I'd like it to shoot down to about 52. Then maybe we have the euphoria to get up and out of it. But realize this is this trend and this breakdown was restrictions on, I believe it was with Amazon, with Apple's marketplace, where a number of their solutions were no longer available in the marketplace, which is why I think they came off on the slope here. Not recalling specifically why, but I do like the upside. And as far as I'm concerned, the Bitcoin holdings do nothing but support that and help it. All right, now, American Superconductor. Now, last month we suggested selling some covered calls between 30 and 35 bucks. We close above this weekly candle. I would probably be trimming those, take whatever gain you've had. Hopefully, you should still be, 10, 15, 20% or more, I would think, just with that time, a month into them. Then any dip down towards our wave 4, my assumption is this 3 might be in, or one of the directions I'm assuming, but it's probably not. And I'm looking at this. We're building this out. Now, this could be our top just like this was. That's the challenging part about looking at this and adding. But to the lower side of that weekly candle, I think it's worth a shot to about 35. I don't think we have much more upside than that here without Asian catalysts. Be more specific, Japan and South Korea would need to get very aggressive in AI. I think that might be the next leg in the artificial intelligence stocks and semis and the suppliers that do that. And obviously AMSC is one of those. So I do think we have one more leg up. The question is it really euphoric or is it a slow grind? That really is what I'm thinking. So, all right, now, Kirk said Caesars was booming. All right, the troubling part is we keep projecting higher prices here and it doesn't look done. Bollinger Bands are still squeezing. Doesn't look done to me. And we're in this flat, close below that $32. We have problems and you might get a better price around 2025 is my thinking. So just keep that in mind with your look. Now, quick, I think our low, we had 1020 last month, I believe, as our back test wave low. It's now dropped a little bit further to 921, so that's updated. But I do suspect that for us to find a bottom there. Realize this is an uptrend. So we're not going to have any confirmed low and divergent low on that leg, or we shouldn't see that. But we should see some divergence in our price, and we're not seeing that in RSI yet. This is still a lower low in RSI, so there's no divergence here yet. So before I enter, I would look for the divergence in RSI. Right? That's what we've got for this week, folks. Great trading. Until next time.